Welcome back to the Martinez Report. It's me, JP, and today we'll be talking about the transgender influencer named Lilly Tino, who has been cancelled by the same people who made him famous. Let's get into it. So in case you don't know who Lilly Tino is, I'll tell you right now. Lilly Tino is a 31-year-old transgender influencer who has a huge following on social media, who has recently been cancelled and is being sued and is facing potential jail time for taking and publishing pictures of minors at Disney World. So Lilly Tino was born as Nicholas Contino and transitioned at the age of 27, which would be about 4 years ago now, and has quickly blown up on social media for, some would say, very angering videos. So if you don't know who Lilly Tino is, Lilly Tino would often go viral for creating very bizarre and odd TikToks where Lilly Tino walks into a very nice restaurant, sits down, and when the waiter comes in and says, "What can I get for you, sir?" Lilly Tino is like, "I'm not a sir, I'm a ma'am." And then Lilly Tino is kind of funny, not gonna lie, and he would say, "Oh, you can't misgender me. You know why? It feels like a knife to the heart. And I told you guys already, I'm a ma'am."
Hi. I use she, her pronouns. I'm not sir.
Oh, so sorry.
Yeah, like it's like a knife in the heart. I did specifically ask ahead of time not to be called sir. Yeah, I'm just gonna go.
And so that was the content that really made Lilly Tino blow up. And I remember I did see several videos of those, maybe through the past 2 years. I never gave it much attention. However, Lilly Tino has exponentially grown his following. And yes, I am saying his. Don't cancel me for that. I've already been canceled, so it's not a big deal. However, it's funny to me that I'm making this video because if you guys have been watching for a while now, you will know that the very first video that I uploaded on this channel was reacting to a bunch of woke TikToks, and one of them was, lo and behold, Lilly Tino. So of course, if you don't remember the video, just for a recap, I'll link the video right here. However, in the video, Lilly Tino goes into detail about how he has joined the waitlist for his long-awaited bottom surgery, which he has been so very excited for. And he goes into detail at Disney World, nevertheless. He gets like a hot dog and a marshmallow and kind of shows a visual presentation of how his bottom surgery will go. Now, I do agree that that video was wild, and I can't believe that he constantly posts videos like that. However, when someone posts such risque content and is so desperate to be loved and accepted, it's only a matter of time before something comes out. And over the past few months, Lilly Tino, his new shtick after, going to restaurants and being misgendered and crying about it, his new shtick was going into Disneyland in Florida, going to every single bathroom in Disneyland and taking a bathroom selfie with the mirror and saying basically, "Oh, look, a transgender woman used a bathroom and nobody was hurt here." And he would post about it several times. I'll put a few up here. And everybody online is kind of sick of Lilly Tino at this point, because why are you taking pictures of yourself in the bathroom when there's people visibly in the background? So it's not like you're waiting for the bathroom to be empty. There was people back there. He didn't care. And at the time, the situation wasn't so grand. However, it escalated when Harry Potter billionaire author J.K. Rowling tweeted at Lilly Tino. J.K. Rowling blasted Lilly Tino, saying that Lilly was using those bathroom selfies as trophies, and that Lilly gets a kick out of violating women's spaces. And that tweet kind of did cause some controversy because people were, of course, trying to defend Lilly Tino, but also the other side of the spectrum were in favor of J.K. Rowling's tweet and supportive of J.K. Rowling, because, we all agree, if you're a mother, you have a daughter, you don't want someone like Lilly Tino in the bathroom. However, we couldn't really say much because Lilly Tino hasn't done anything in the bathroom that we know of yet that would cause, any sort of civil offense. However, the situation got way out of hand when a woman announced that she was going to sue Lilly Tino because she is a mother and her daughter was there in one of the photos that Lilly Tino took and published without their consent, and worst of all, didn't even blur out the little girl's face. She was there, and the mother decided that she was going to sue Lilly Tino. I believe another person is also planning on suing Lilly, but the only one that has so far actually done it is this woman who is suing Lilly Tino. And Lilly Tino, if he is found guilty, he will face up to 5 years in prison. as well as a $5,000 fine. And now a lot of people were conflicted with what to think of this whole situation because, of course, if we're talking about the political spectrum, there's one side that is, trying to defend people like Lilly. However, they understand that this has gone too far. And then there's the other side of people that don't want Lilly Tino to even have the right to enter into the women's bathroom. And so everyone has their opinions. Of course, I am in the opinion that Lilly Tino should get out of the women's bathroom because everyone with eyes knows that that is a grown man, a 30-year-old grown man. I don't know what his height is. He looks over 6 foot. He's a giant man. In fact, there's a funny video of him that went around on TikTok where everybody's kind of scared of Lilly Tino to go to their Disneyland. And there's a video of Lilly Tino kind of like casually walking, and somebody filmed it like, oh my gosh, Lilly Tino's here. Watch out.
Y'all put up with me. I would have seen y'all niggas outside.
And so I wanted to make a video on this because I thought it was so interesting to see that people on specifically the left side of the political aisle, who for years were championing transgender people, have, it seems, overnight turned on Lilly Tino. In fact, there's a petition on change.org that has over 500,000 signatures demanding that Lilly Tino get removed from TikTok. And so I thought that was so interesting because, of course, for years, the left was trying to boost transgender influencers. In fact, very famously, I'm sure you guys have heard of another transgender influencer who has documented his transition on social media, Dylan Mulvaney, who has had a similar trajectory as Lilly Tino. And the Democrats completely embraced Dylan Mulvaney. I remember Joe Biden invited Dylan to the White House. Dylan was with every single type of Hollywood celebrity, getting along with them, getting brand deals. There's so much controversy, if you don't remember, with the Bud Light brand deal. And then, a lot of people on the right were upset about it, which was very valid because who was Bud Light trying to advertise to, bringing in a transgender influencer, which I don't even think Dylan Mulvaney even liked Bud Light. But of course, a bag is a bag. And if we know anything about Dylan Mulvaney, he would do anything for a bag, even become a woman. And so back to Lilly Tino. Lilly Tino has kind of had the internet turn against him overnight. And now everyone was kind of asking for him to kind of disappear, go away, and worst case scenario, go to jail, which we're going to see what happens with that case. Of course, nothing has been decided. However, Lilly Tino was still posting for a minute there. However, on July 2nd, Lilly Tino posted that he would be taking a break from social media, and the whole internet rejoiced.
So to that end, I'm gonna take a break. I need to take some time.
You look at any comment section, everyone's rejoicing. In fact, the funniest comment that I saw was somebody kind of using Lilly Tino's catchphrase, against him, saying, hey, did it feel like a knife to the heart? And I thought that was great. It seems that the internet is so rarely united these days, but we are united in the fact that we want Lilly Tino gone. I wouldn't necessarily say he deserves to go to jail, but that's not really up to me. He really did just take a picture. If something comes out later on that he did something inappropriate, then yeah, throw him in jail. But so far, he's just taking pictures. He's really annoying, in my opinion. I don't find any of his videos interesting. But, he really hasn't done anything that would, require him to go to jail. And so that's the Lilly Tino situation, basically in a nutshell. However, I wanted to make this video to highlight a very important trend that I've seen. And that trend is very unfortunate, and it gives people like Lilly Tino and people like Dylan Mulvaney, it really paints them in a very bad light. And that is that every single time on the internet, when we see a man transition to a woman and they document their stuff online, their perception of becoming a woman is always so sick and twisted, and for some reason always ends up in them creating an OnlyFans. That's right. It was very unfortunate for me to discover that yes, Lilly Tino has an OnlyFans. And of course, I discovered this through Twitter, where people were saying that he was talking bad about them, and people were saying that he was very mean on there. Of course, I'm not gonna check on there because that is crazy. But I did see a video of somebody it was titled something like, "Oh, I bought Lilly Tino's OnlyFans so you don't have to." And his reaction to Lilly Tino's page was traumatizing at best. And so I have a really big problem when trans women, as they call themselves, transition to what their idea of a woman is. However, it's never transitioning to a woman who, wants to be, very caring, maybe wants to be somebody who, gives back to the world. It's always a sexualized, very perverse version of a woman. In fact, there was one picture of Lilly Tino in like a maid outfit, dressed up as Lola Bunny, very sexualized. And for me, I have a problem with that, because I'm like, well, yeah, you transitioned, sure, you have a huge following now, but why is your view of women so perverse? Why do, when you say, hey, I'm gonna become a woman, what does that mean? I guess it means, stripping down, taking out all my clothes, being very sexualized, starting an OnlyFans, selling your body. And that is a very dangerous and very disgusting view of women. And we see a huge trend with these transgender, more specifically trans women influencers who are supported by the left. And Lilly Tino seems to be that boiling point. People are sick of it, and the left and the right have united to basically kick out Lilly Tino. And it seems to be working. We're all sick of Lilly Tino. We want it to be gone. And Lilly, if you see this video, disappear. Take that money you made, go away. We don't want to see your videos anymore. They're not funny. They're ridiculous. Just go away. Now, of course, I hope that nothing ever does come out about Lilly Tino, saying that, somebody coming out and saying, hey, Lilly Tino did something very inappropriate to me. So far, nobody has said that. And, I really hope that nothing ever happened. However, Lilly Tino, being this brat who thinks he's entitled to everything that a woman has, and he thinks that he's entitled to barge into women's spaces, women's bathrooms, women's locker rooms, and just live his life as a woman to the detriment of real women. It's very narcissistic, and I'm so glad after, it took a few years, but finally people are realizing that this man has got to go. And so I thought it was interesting that all these influencers that the left seems to support and, give brand deals to and help out, become a almost micro celebrity, they always turn out to be, pretty much bullies and really not great people. And I always think that's interesting. You don't want to judge, but someone like Lilly Tino, just get out. Find the exit. The exit's over there. Get out. Don't come back. So before we end, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, subscribe, leave a comment, and let me know what your thoughts are, and let me know what you think will happen to Lilly Tino, or should I say Nicholas Contino.